Okay, so The Batman. My daughter Alex and I just watched it the other night, and we came out of the theater feeling uh, a little bit uncertain about the movie. So here are my thoughts. The movie a talks about the brokenness of society and all the lies hidden beneath everything. And there is a thin line between being a justice seeking vigilante and being a violent criminal. And that is a thin line that Bruce Wayne in the movie dangerously traverses, and hopefully, in the end, he will not cross. So, okay, let's start with the things I did like about the movie. Catwoman. Selena Kyle was probably the best thing about the movie. I really enjoyed this character. Zoe Kravitz played it incredibly well. She just was such a badass. She was smart. She was at times delicate and fragile, and at the same time, very strong. And she held her own. And I thought this was the best part of the movie. I really enjoyed this version of Catwoman. Next is Commissioner Gordon. Oh my goodness. Jeffrey Wright did an amazing job with this character. I loved him as the Watcher, but this guy just nailed the Commissioner Gordon, or the Lieutenant Gordon, I should say, character in the movie. I dare say he could be this generation's James Earl Jones, if you know what I'm saying. I love the character. I love how the actor played him out. I actually might even like this version of Gordon than the Christopher Nolan Gordon. Although I did love the Christopher Nolan version of Lieutenant Gordon and then Commissioner Gordon, but this one was just really remarkable. So the movie starts out great. He talks about he hiding in the shadows, that the criminal elements are afraid of him because they think he's hiding in the shadows, but he is the shadows. But I noticed he comes out of the shadows way too much. I mean, he's always stepping into the light. In the end, he does completely step out of the light, but that element of fear in the shadow just immediately dissipates after the first 5 minutes of the movie. Batman entering the crime scene. This is probably the biggest thing that really annoyed me about the movie. In this movie, Batman just enters the crime scene with everyone still in it, and he's parading around like some mascot, and he's adding advice, he's giving advice, he's determining the clues, and he's talking to everybody on the crime scene, which to me does not happen. Batman waits for everybody to leave, or he's the first into the crime scene, and he looks at the crime scene when he's alone, when there's nobody there, and then he confides in Gordon what he thought about the crime scene. Not this way. It feels like he's just a cop in a bat suit or in a Halloween costume, and basically he's just a mascot walking around trying to give advice. And we never really see him be the great detective that he is. In fact, the whole movie, I mean, the Penguin summarizes it very well, that he's such a crappy detective. I mean, he's been doing this for 2 years, and all he's good at is just solving puzzles, which is not how the Batman was. Bruce Wayne, as the Batman, was the world's greatest detective, even at a very, very young age in his career as the Batman. Then he gets captured by the police. He gets knocked out. Okay, first of all, the Batman does not get knocked out. I mean, okay, fine. Sometimes he does with a super criminal, but a bomb, some element, forces of nature, car crashes, something like that. Anything that's not been caused by a supervillain, he normally has a way of protecting himself and not getting knocked out. Now, okay, assuming he's only been doing this for 2 years, which to me is a long time to perfect defensive techniques, he gets knocked out. He would never allow himself to get captured by the police. Okay, that dude is just, the cops fear him. They won't be able to capture him. And even if they do get to capture him, the Batman has a way out. 2 seconds in, he knows how he's gonna get out, and he's gonna be just playing with these characters, with these police. And quite frankly, the police, there was like a ton of them there. The Bat helmet easily comes off. He showed it, how easy Bruce Wayne easily removed his helmet. Why didn't they remove it? And is it well, probably because Gordon was protecting him, but I don't think, like, there were like 2 dozen cops there. I don't think they would have been able to hold off Gordon. One of them would probably just remove and take a peek in the mask. So I don't know why they didn't do that. I mean, my daughter was like, we were in the theater and my daughter was like, why didn't they take off the mask? I mean, okay, fine. Maybe they respected Gordon too much not to take off the mask, whatever. The mask could have easily been taken off and nobody did. He escapes. I mean, what I'm saying is the Batman doesn't need a key from Gordon to escape. He already has a way out, even before he gets into the cell. So I don't understand why he had to get Gordon's help just to escape. The other thing I noticed is he always uses the front door. I mean, Batman never uses the front door. He always finds a way to get into the room without anybody being seen. And throughout the movie, he keeps using the front door. Even in a room without a window, you can be sure he has a way in. So I don't get it. Is he too much of a rookie? Next, he just keeps getting beat up. I don't know. The Batman I know can dodge bullets. He's like kind of Bruce Lee, like Sherlock Holmes turned into a ninja. That's how I see Batman. And this one, okay, fine, he's only been doing this for 2 years, but still, 2 years is a long time to perfect your craft. And I don't understand why he's so clumsy, he's so clunky, and he should be moving like shadows, like the night. And he keeps getting beat up for some reason. I mean, those boots of his, he had to get the clunkiest, noisiest boots out there. I mean, if he's really supposed to be the shadows, the ninja, he should be quiet. He should not make a sound. Throughout the movie, you see Batman already using all his gadgets and all that, but we only see the grappling gun. I mean, he's been doing this for 2 years, he's rich, and all he has is a grappling gun. And I don't even know what those Black Widow gauntlets are, but we see him use a bomb and the grappling gun. That's all the gadgets he has. Oh, and that flying squirrel suit, the Halo suit. Okay, fine, that was good. But I would have expected more. I mean, if it was your first year, okay, but maybe, I don't know. The contact lenses, okay, as a camera, but we could have seen a lot more gadgets like nets or bolos, or not bolos, but the ball with the rope to immobilize villains. We could have seen a lot more gadgets, and maybe a batarang. That would have been really nice, a batarang. We did see how the emblem on his suit worked, and it turns out this bat emblem is an amazing box cutter. And who wouldn't want that, right? He uses it to cut things, and he can easily replace it back on his chest. That is so cool. I mean, who wouldn't want a box cutter that you could just put on your chest for safekeeping? I mean, I'm not gonna comment anymore, but I thought the bat emblem could have been more, but it was an amazing box cutter, I'll give you that. Very sharp. Let's talk about that Batmobile. I loved it. I thought this was an amazing design. It was rough around the edges. It was mean. It was big and fast. When they revealed this, I was expecting full-on James Bond gadgets. This was going to be fast. It could fly and all that. But all we ended up with was a Fast and the Furious type of Batmobile. I mean, he chased the Penguin across town. And you'd think he'd had a game plan, like he'd have a grappling hook in the gun, since he likes grappling hooks, that's all he has. He would have a grappling hook and catch the Penguin's car, or he would have nets or some form of gel or some oil slick just to immobilize or stop the Penguin's car in his tracks. But no, his main plan was to go full on Toretto and O'Connor and go do a Fast and the Furious stunt to catch the Penguin and bonk the Penguin. And throughout the movie, you get to see all these scenes with Batman looking into the camera and just trying to look cool and mean, and that's all he does. To be honest, it doesn't really give an intimidating factor to the Batman. The movie just tries to give him like a cool effect, like, oh, he's so cool, he's Batman. And that's same with the car. The car is just cool. but it doesn't really do anything. Then we see Bruce Wayne, the supposedly Prince of Gotham, billionaire playboy, and he looks like he's trying to audition for the band BTS. I mean, come on. The guy is got billions of dollars and he can't even buy a hairbrush or a comb to just fix his hair. Maybe that's his style. Maybe he wants a gothic, brooding look, but that's cool as Batman. But as Bruce Wayne, you gotta be a ladies' man, right? That's his mask. That's his facade, right? He's billionaire playboy, but he looks like he's playing a role from a pop group or something. Now, the Batman has always been, to me, like Sherlock Holmes donned on a ninja suit. A ninja Sherlock Holmes. And he's in the shadows and he strikes fear in the hearts of criminals. And in this movie, he just wasn't that. He was clumsy, he was clunky. Most of the time he didn't know what he was doing. Definitely not a Sherlock Holmes. He was a puzzle solver, yes, but he was not a detective. He was not a ninja with those clunky boots. His moves were cool. He would show up and then you would expect him to do ninja moves, but then he just gets getting beat up. I mean, he's in the shadows, in the mist, and he pops up. Oh my God, we're gonna see some action. And it just stops short. And the same thing goes with the score of the movie. I love the haunting music. You get that Tim Burton style of movie, and then it just stops short of becoming a good score. It builds up the emotion, the suspense, and then it just falls flat. I'm sorry, that's what I'm getting from the music and this Batman in general. I'm sorry, but compared to these other two, the Christian Bale and Michael Keaton Batman, this Pattinson Batman just falls short. To me, Bale, after seeing a lot of movies of Batman, you'd expect so much more, but these two are still my favorite. And for me, the greatest of all time Batman was Adam West. That's Batman in the Batusi. Oh my goodness. No, I grew up with this kind of Batman, and I don't know, people hate this Batman, but to me, he was one of the best. And not because he was funny and he was comic-like, but he was a real detective. And he had moves, if you know what I'm saying. Throughout the movie, he calls himself, I am Vengeance. The movie should have just been called Vengeance. Vengeance, the movie, or The Vengeance. Because that name, Vengeance, has been thrown around so loosely, like, it's like even Catwoman calls him Vengeance. Hey, Vengeance, want to grab a drink? Hey, Vengeance, we're late, let's go. Hey, Vengeance, come on. It's like, I know he's Vengeance, but that's not it. That shouldn't be his name. And there's that scene when one of the Riddler's goons says, I am Vengeance. Oh my God, I burst out laughing in the theater. I was like the only one. And okay, I get what he's saying. I get that because the Batman is Vengeance. They were all inspired to emulate his vigilanteism, but they took it to the extreme. They crossed the line and all that. I get that, but it just came out wrong and funny, and I don't know. They should have named this The Vengeance movie. And that whole final scene, oh my God, that probably sums it all up for me. Two people on a motorcycle chasing each other. And it doesn't even make sense. The whole thing was Batman and the Riddler, parallelism. Who did it better? Catwoman was, I guess, a sidekick. And the end of the movie came across as Brian O'Connell and Dom Toretto, splitting, going to a fork in the road and going separate ways. And it just didn't, oh my goodness. It was just horrible. This last scene just was the nail in the coffin in the movie for me. It just did not work. The movie had a message of the lies of society, and there is a thin line between vigilanteism, doing the right thing, and crossing and becoming a super criminal and all that. But is that really what we wanted from a Batman movie? Shouldn't we just get a Batman movie where he solves a great mystery, or he solves a case, and he gets to beat up bad guys doing the process? I mean, I think they should have just kept it simple. Solving a criminal case and then beating up the bad guys. That's the kind of Batman everybody wants to get. And to me, this movie was just a 3-hour long snooze fest that, to be quite honest, was really getting nowhere. And the Riddler, let's talk about the Riddler. I thought it was a cool character, but he seemed more like the Joker than the Riddler. So there was this disconnect and disjointedness about the character that really put me off. It was a great portrayal, but he seemed more like the Joker than the Riddler. In the end, what was the whole point of this movie? Alex wanted to give it a 0. I initially gave it a 1 out of 10 because I did like Gordon and Selina in the movie. For this commentary video, I'm going to give the movie a 5 out of 10. You either hate it or you like it. If you're a big Batman fan, you might give it more than a 5. Maybe even give it a perfect score for some Bat enthusiasts out there. If you're mostly a Marvel fan, you don't like anything DC, you'd probably give it like a 1 or a 2. But if you're someone who enjoys both Marvel and DC, like Batman's been my favorite DC. I mean, I could care less about the other DC characters. I love Batman and Wonder Woman. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. It's a mixed bag for me. It leaves you hanging after the end of the movie, thinking what just happened. And Batman, the whole archetype or stereotype about Batman was just not present in the movie. I get it that they're trying to do something new. They're trying to reimagine Batman. They're trying to give him a more grassroots, edgier feel to it, but you've got to keep all the original elements in place. You can do all these various kinds of Optimus Primes or these various kinds of Darth Vaders or different kinds of Superman, but the core elements of who Captain America is, of who Spider-Man is, of who Batman is, should still be there. He is a Sherlock Holmes donning a gruesome ninja outfit that instills fear in the hearts of criminals. And that was just not this Batman. Too emotional Batman. He was too much in the light. There was no fear factor. He was not a great detective. He just missteps every step of the way. So 5 out of 10, I think, is fair. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of the Batman movie, and you think I'm too harsh or I'm too generous. Hit me up in the comments, and as always, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.